So on April 2nd, a terrorist organization called Al-Shabaab went into a Kenyan university, door to door, knocked on people's doors, questioned them about their religion, and shot people on the spot, execution style, if they couldn't answer questions about their religion, about Islam, or if they're a Christian. And the death total ended up being 148 students. So there were hundreds missing. Luckily, they've got those students back. They're letting them know that the families know that they're okay. But it hit American social media, it hit American news media sources, and it definitely hit Howard University as far as students being concerned and empathizing and sympathizing with those students who look and sound like us.
When I heard about the story of the students who were murdered while in college in Kenya at Garissa, I was really disappointed and really frustrated. When we come to college, we shouldn't have to worry about our safety or whether or not we're going to be attacked. Going to college is supposed to be an opportunity to create a better future for yourself. And so to hear that so many bright futures were cut off so short was highly disappointing for me.
When you go back and you see those images, it literally tore my heart apart. I almost got emotional in my room looking at those images of people who really do look just like me. It looked like Howard University, to be honest, on the camera. And to deal with that trauma of 140 people killed at one time and how it happened, it took me back. I was definitely speechless for a little bit. But then the question came, what do we do about it? And so that's what we're talking about now. Well, I mean, you're seeing now with the prevalence of these terrorist organizations that it doesn't necessarily have to be that organization that reaches you. It's the ideology that reaches you. And you don't know who's on your campus or who's in that city that has interpreted or internalized that ideology, and you never know when it's going to happen. So for me, it's a scary thing to think about as a student leader. The constituents that you represent, your friends, your colleagues, one day go into class just like any of us do, and you're in your dorm, and all of a sudden somebody knocks on your door, they have a gun pointed at your head and asking you if you're a Christian or not. And I know most students on campus do happen to be Christians, so that adds a whole nother element to the story, which is sort of the religious persecution aspect of it.
I do have concerns when I go to college, when I go to school, but I know that it's nowhere near comparable to the experiences of students who are in developing countries, students who are in the continent of Africa, or students who are in the Middle East. So I do feel blessed to live in America where there are just certain things I don't have to worry about. I don't have to worry about someone attacking me because of my religious beliefs. I don't have to worry about someone attacking me because I'm a woman, stopping me from getting an education because I'm a woman. So the concerns that I have are not anywhere near the concerns that I'm sure that my counterparts would have in another continent or another region of the world. So many things are happening right now. You have Walter Scott, you have, this happening, and it's just like week after week after week, there is something happening. And I think that students are almost numb to these occurrences, to where they don't even know, should we do another event? Should we have another rally? Should we meet at the flagpole yet again? I think some students are pretty much tired of doing these same actions over and over again. And so now it's forcing some other people to find different ways to handle these situations or to respond to these situations. And so there has not been any, to my knowledge, any formal actions taken to respond or to address what happened in Kenya. But I don't think that's because of apathy. I think it's just because it's, at this point, what can we do that'll have a lasting impact, something that is actually meaningful and not just another exercise in futility.
In the case of the students in Kenya, one of the reasons why the death total was as high as it was because the people that were responsible for responding took too long. And so for me as a student leader, and as somebody that's concerned about the safety of my constituents and my friends, really, there has to be procedures in place, unfortunately, to deal with or prepare for a shooter on campus. I know colleges talk about it in theory, and we even think about it in the traditional ways of one rogue individual, but this was a terrorist act. And that's a whole different ball game. And so I think that colleges have to wake up at this time and prepare for the challenges of the 21st century.
Go to BET.com/what's at stake and get involved by using #what's at stake across all social media.